Sweden, they design SUVs just a little differently. Take this one, Volvo's XC40, a contender that's much more than just a smaller version of the brand's larger models. It gets its own CMA platform and some very distinct design to set itself apart. The result is an interesting alternative to more mainstream premium branded compact SUVs, whether you're looking at a mild hybrid, plug-in hybrid or full EV drivetrain, and one that in this improved form you might rather like.
Volvo SUVs aren't generally burdened with customer expectations of super sharp handling dynamics, but they absolutely must ride with decorum, function and refinement, and be relaxing to use. If that defines the minimum requirement here, then we'd say the XC40 slightly exceeds it, without ever really allowing any degree of driving enjoyment to get in the way of its day-to-day duties. The compact modular architecture CMA platform, shared with cousin model the Polestar 2, is a world removed from the heavy, clunky underpinnings that previous generation compact Volvo models had to lug about. Plus, grip levels are assured, body roll is reasonably well controlled through the corners, and very little noise makes its way through to the cabin. You'll be wanting to know about what lies beneath the bonnet. Well, absolutely nothing, of course, with this Recharge pure electric model, which comes in two forms: a single motor, 238 horsepower, 69 kilowatt hour variant, now rear driven with a driving range of up to 290 miles. The alternative is the twin motor, 82 kilowatt hour version we're trying here, which has adopted different front and rear e-motors with 150 and 258 horsepower respectively, for a total output of 408 horsepower and a 334 mile driving range. Either way, a 200 kilowatt maximum charging rate means a 10 to 80% charge can be accomplished in just 28 minutes using a public rapid charger. You don't have to have your XC40 in EV form. Most sales are still of the conventionally engined non-plug-in mild hybrid B3 and B4 versions, which offer 163 or 197 horsepower respectively and use 48 volt tech to deliver up to 42.1 mpg on the combined cycle and up to 152 grams per kilometre of CO2. The final, rarely chosen drivetrain option is the plug-in hybrid, based around the brand's old 3-cylinder 1.5 litre petrol unit. This engine offered in either 129 horsepower form in the T4 plug-in or 180 horsepower guise in the T5. Either way, the powertrain incorporates an 82 horsepower electric motor and can deliver up to 28 miles of EV driving range. The obvious way to style this car would simply have been to merely shrink the themes established with Volvo's larger SUVs. That's usually what competitors do. But British XC40 designer Ian Kettle wanted this car to be different, which is why back in 2017 we got this, a concept inspired by the small robots he used to watch in science fiction films. Curvy conformities replaced by chunky cuteness with a Transformer-esque vibe. Not everyone will like it, but then if everyone did, it wouldn't be such an interesting piece of design. Volvo hasn't felt the need to change things very much since the original launch. The signature Thor's Hammer headlamps have lately been embellished with state-of-the-art pixel LED light technology. But the main change lies with these redesigned lower corner cutouts, originally horizontal, now refashioned into a kind of rocket shape as part of a redesigned front bumper. Visual differentiation between the combustion-based models and this full EV version is easy. This EV gets this blanked off, frameless, solid grille plate. Right, what about the interior? Is it as young and different as the exterior tries to be? Well, not really. Volvo has done its best to lift things, notably with the striated plastic trimming panels you get with this top-level trim, which illuminate translucently at night. The decor that surrounds you is vegan-based and sustainably sourced wherever possible, notably in terms of the upholstery and the carpeting. What wasn't sustainable for a modern-day EV Volvo was the brand's old Sensus infotainment system for the 9-inch centre console, portrait touchscreen. So that's been replaced with this much improved Android infotainment setup, which includes worldwide navigation to Google Maps, advanced voice recognition by Google Assistant, and access to the Google Play Store for a range of in-car apps. The other screen you'll be using is the 12.3-inch progressive driver display you view through this pleasingly chunky 3-spoke wheel. What else? Well, over-the-shoulder vision is slightly restricted, but that's alleviated on most models by a rear camera and all-round sensors. As for cabin practicality, well, there are plenty of stowage receptacles, plus some nice touches like this lift-out centre bin and a hook that folds out of the glove box for handbags or takeaways. Time to try out the back. Headroom's generous, even if you've got this panoramic glass roof fitted. And the relatively lengthy wheelbase helps with legroom too. We're not so keen on the way that the angled style of the rear C-pillar might create something of a claustrophobic feel back here for younger folk. If you've got children, take them along on the test drive to make sure they'll be happy here. Finally, let's take a look in the boot. Now, the standard power-operated tailgate raises to reveal a low loading lip over which you access a cargo area rated at 452 litres, regardless of whether you choose a combustion-based or full EV model. Push forward the 60-40 split backrest and up to 1,336 litres of total capacity is revealed if you load to the roof. And that's only 59 litres less than you get in the larger XC40. And in summary, well, most of the other cars in this segment are merely smaller versions of existing models and collectively offer much the same kind of confection, served up in only slightly different ways. In selecting between them, your decision will probably come down to things like price and spec. In contrast, you choose an XC40 because you really wanted to, because it offered something you simply couldn't get elsewhere. Something, well, a bit more unique when it comes to this class of car. If that's what you want, Volvo thinks it has a contender that'll interest you very much.